Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ben. I've actually been trying to wake up earlier this week, which is going pretty badly if I'm honest, but we'll see how it goes. So here's something I want you to think about. This morning, when you woke up, did you check your phone before you even got out of bed? And I'm asking because I did, and I didn't even really decide to do it. My hand just kind of moved there. And that got me thinking about today's topic, which is all about habits. Specifically, why we do the same things over and over again, often without even realizing it. But first, let's do our quiz question for today, because I love putting you on the spot right at the start. Here's the question. Scientists who study habits say the brain forms a habit loop made up of 3 stages. So which of the following is one of those 3 stages? Is it A, reward, B, a decision, or C, a memory? So, is it A, B, or C? Take a moment, think about it. I'm going to go with a reward, but honestly I'm not totally sure, so hold that thought and we'll come back to the answer at the end of the episode. Alright, so let's talk about habits. A habit is basically a behavior that becomes automatic over time. Something you do without having to think hard about it. And the fascinating thing is, habits aren't random. Researchers who study behavior say that habits follow a very specific pattern in the brain. This pattern is often called the habit loop, and it's something that has been studied seriously in the field of neuroscience. That's the science of the brain and how it works. Neuroscience has given us a much clearer picture of why habits form and why they can be so difficult to break. Now, the habit loop has 3 core parts. The first is the cue, that's the trigger, the thing that starts the whole process. It might be a time of day, a place, an emotion, or even another person. So for example, sitting down on your sofa after dinner might be the cue that tells your brain, okay, it's television time. The second part is the routine. That's the actual behavior, the thing you do. And the third part is the reward, the good feeling, or the relief, or the satisfaction that you get at the end. Your brain remembers that reward, and the next time the cue appears, it wants that reward again. Over time, this loop becomes deeply ingrained, meaning it gets fixed so strongly into your behavior that it feels completely natural and almost impossible to avoid. Here's the really interesting part. Your brain actually loves habits, not because it's lazy, but because habits save energy. Every time you make a conscious decision, like what to eat for breakfast or which route to take to work, your brain uses up mental energy. But when something becomes a habit, the brain can kind of run on autopilot. It works automatically, without you needing to concentrate. This frees up mental space for more important decisions. So habits are actually a form of efficiency, and that's why the brain is wired to create them. I asked a few people what they think about their own daily habits. Here's what they told me. I never even noticed I had habits until I tried to change one. I used to have a coffee every morning the second I sat down at my desk. When I switched jobs and lost that routine, I felt totally lost for weeks. For me, it's my evening run. I don't decide to go, I just put my shoes on. It's like my body just knows. And if I skip it, I feel off for the rest of the night. I have a bad habit of scrolling through my phone before bed, and I've tried to stop so many times. But something about lying down just makes me reach for it automatically. I can't explain it. Can you relate to any of those? I definitely can, especially that last one. So now you understand how habits form, but what about changing them? This is where things get really practical. Researchers suggest that you can't really erase a habit. The loop stays in your brain, but you can replace the routine inside the loop. This is called habit substitution. That's when you keep the same cue and the same reward, but you swap out the behavior in the middle for something different and healthier. So if your cue is stress and your usual routine is reaching for a snack, you could try substituting that with a short walk or a few deep breaths, keeping the cue and the chasing of relief, but changing what you actually do. Another important idea is what researchers call keystone habits. These are habits that, once you build them, seem to naturally trigger other positive changes in your life without you even planning it. Exercise is the most classic example. People who start exercising regularly often report that they also start eating better, sleeping better, and even feeling more productive at work, not because they planned all of those changes, but because one strong habit seemed to pull the others along. There's also the concept of friction. This means how easy or difficult it is to do something. If you want to build a good habit, you reduce friction, you make it easier to do. If you want to break a bad habit, you increase friction, you make it harder. So if you want to read more, put a book on your pillow. If you want to scroll your phone less, put the charger in another room. Small environmental changes can make a surprisingly big difference when it comes to reshaping your daily routines. And finally, scientists talk about the importance of belief when changing habits. People who believe they are capable of change, who have what's called self-efficacy, meaning confidence in your own ability to succeed at something, are far more likely to stick with a new habit when things get difficult. This is why community matters too. Joining a group of people who share your goal, even a small one, can significantly boost your belief in yourself. Before we wrap up, let's quickly go through today's words so they really stick. First, neuroscience, the science of the brain. Advances in neuroscience have helped us understand why habits are so hard to break. Next, ingrained, deeply fixed into your behavior or thinking. Some habits become so ingrained that people don't even notice they're doing them. Then, autopilot, working automatically without conscious thought. She drove the same route home on autopilot, barely remembering the journey. After that, habit substitution, replacing one behavior in a habit loop with a different one. Habit substitution helped him swap late-night snacking for herbal tea. Then, keystone habits, powerful habits that trigger other positive changes. Running became his keystone habit, and everything else in his life seemed to improve alongside it. Next, friction. How easy or difficult it is to perform a behavior. She reduced friction by laying out her gym clothes the night before. And finally, self-efficacy, your belief in your own ability to succeed. Building self-efficacy through small wins makes long-term habit change much more likely. Okay, so, the quiz answer. The question was, which of the following is one of the 3 stages of the habit loop? And the answer is a reward. The 3 stages are the cue, the routine, and the reward. And I said a reward, so I actually got that one right. Honestly, I'll take it. I don't always trust my gut, but it came through today. The big takeaway from today is this: you are not your habits, you are the person who can choose to change them, one small loop at a time. Comment practice and I'll reply with today's phrase. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.